for? The comedy podcast where I, Amy Brown, ask fun and interesting people what they are nerdy for. And I have a friend in my podcast / costume chamber who is a repeat offender. Her name is Amanda Marks.
That's my name!
And okay, real quick before we get started.
That was not planned.
That was not planned.
We haven't been rehearsing that or anything.
No, we haven't. We just sing sometimes, and that's fine. It's completely normal.
Totally.
There is a thing where you can rate and review podcasts. I didn't know that was a thing. And then
Always choose 5 stars.
5 stars would be great, so I don't have to cry.
Right.
That would be awesome.
Don't hurt our feelings.
I know this is not an intellectual podcast, and anything that's on here is not true, and possibly offensive.
Not based on fact or science.
But we're having fun, and we're spreading love, and it's good vibes. There's always good vibes on here.
Always.
Yeah, always.
Did I tell you about the one time I got a 1 star on my podcast?
Oh,
and
no.
why?
Okay, where do they live? Do we need to go egg their house?
Well, I made the mistake, or maybe it was a promotional opportunity where I have a sticker for my podcast on the back of my car.
Oh, okay.
But
I see where this is going.
I would say my husband sometimes makes driving choices that I don't agree with.
It's your husband's allowed to drive your minivan?
Yeah. I've got the nice minivan. What? Yes.
I did. That's so you're going to blame him? You're just going to go ahead and just throw him under the van, the literal minivan?
Okay, so
you could have been you being a bad driver?
It could have been, but okay, so we got a review and it was like, I'm not sure what's worse, their driving or their podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, but then I was like, okay, this person, we knew when they submitted the review, right?
Yeah.
So I figured, I looked to see what day it was and what time of day, because I figured they were probably so angry.
You reverse engineered it.
They did it within like an hour. Like no one's going to do it the next day.
Hopefully.
So I remembered what we were doing, and Aaron got super lost, and then
with turns,
and did like a U-turn where he shouldn't have, and I was like, okay, that wasn't me.
Well, please don't review my driving, but if you could review the podcast, that'd be great. And today I have Amanda Marks coming back. Amanda and Amanda's a stand-up comedian, and we have done festivals together, and we have produced shows together, and we have a great time. But today on the podcast, we are going to roast summer family vacations.
We're coming at you, summer family vacations.
I'm getting ready for one, and I'm terrified. I'm not sleeping. It's like if you experience something bad in the past, you start to have nightmares about it.
I have this reoccurring dream where we have to leave suddenly. We're on vacation.
Yes.
You have this dream,
yes.
And then all of a sudden I have to like pack up everything.
Yeah, and it's you by yourself.
Yeah, and there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
and it is such an anxiety dream. But sometimes I'm a lucid dreamer, and I'll just be like, I'm just gonna leave this stuff. I'm going to leave it and walk out of the hotel room without any stuff.
I've had friends who do that of their house with their children in it.
Like in real life, not
it's
dream.
It's just going to be better without me.
Yeah.
And they get in the car and they start driving. And then 6 hours later, they like calm down and they call the husband. Like, you might want to go check on the kids. Yeah, women crack. I will wake up in a cold sweat to this day saying, goggles. You always have to pack 20 pairs of goggles on the trip because my children are old enough now, they can pack their own goggles or not wear them because they're trying to get girlfriends.
My kids, are your kids using goggles now?
No, but it's like burned on my brain. And then I would always pack extra goggles for the cousins because that family was never remembering their goggles.
I'm so paranoid that I would make sure my kids were wearing like super neon colored goggles because it was easier to spot them in the pool or in the ocean.
Make them wear them on the plane.
And if they would wear them on the plane. I'm like, I lost my kid. Like, where? I'm like, the one with the goggles. Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
So.
Okay, so let's pull it back.
Okay.
The family summer vacation of lore of back in the day. It was in the 50s. It probably got started being invented. People had extra money for the first time, and so they would go in a car trip, camper trip. They would go to a national park.
Did station wagons exist in the 1950s?
Well, no one needed a seatbelt, so every car was a station wagon. You just filled it up with kids. And they would, you would go to a national park and you could actually feed the bears at Yosemite Park in the parking lot. It wasn't illegal yet. And
There are bears in the parking lot?
yeah, they would feed them out of the dumpster. And now have you tried to go to a national park in Los Estados Unidos in the United States today? The lines you have to make a reservation. The lines are out the wazoo long. You have to get there at 3 a.m.
No.
It's impossible to get into the parks. And people, some people love a park. Have you ever been those friends that have like the stickers and the chart and they did all the parks?
The stickers are all on the back of their car.
Have you done any parking?
I've gone to some for like weddings and stuff, but
you have to get a reservation now to go in, even to rock climb.
Not like, but I've not.
You have friends
to
who
drive
have weddings at national parks?
I've filmed weddings at some parks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you do it like? Did you parked it? Have you parked?
Nope. We did not. We took beach vacations. I grew up in Alabama.
Okay.
So the furthest
Fancy.
we got was I'd go on vacation to Montgomery, to my grandparents' house. Without my
High five the grandparents.
parents. Yeah, they wouldn't let me like leave.
Werther's Originals all around.
Right? And
Happy
then
summer vacation.
She would take me. My grandmother would take me. My
Did
Mimi.
you have to show her your tits to get your Werther's?
What?
Oh, that's spring break. Sorry.
That's Mardi Gras. But no, or we'd go down to the beach. We'd go down to the Panhandle. So
yeah. So I lived in upstate New York, and we would do a trip, like a driving trip to Florida.
wow.
Yeah, you wake up at 2 a.m., get in the car,
What is
start
that?
driving.
Like 18 hours?
It's really far. I don't know. Like,
And we had no entertainment.
no,
Oh,
you
I
can watch
remember
the
that.
grown-up smoke. That was fun.
We used to, because I would go to Minnesota because I had family lived up there, and it was like multiple days. I just remember we would be in the back of my grandfather's truck, and there was no entertainment. We had one CD player that we would all like put like our ears up to a headphone, or one of the older brothers was like, "No, I'm taking this," and like that was it. They're like, "You three just sit in the back."
They've invented this. It's on the internet now. It's called raw dogging, and men are going. Have you seen this?
That means a lot of things.
No, not like that, Joel. Not like that. I know both Joel and Amanda are wearing leopard tops today. Not like that, Joel. It's going on an airplane and not watching or listening to anything or reading.
I have
anything.
heard about this because someone the other day this was brought up to me because it's like people, you know that little flight tracker?
Uh-huh.
They say they just watch the flight tracker.
Yeah.
They just sit there.
It's like a challenge. It's like
I did that for
water
about
bucket
5
challenge.
minutes. I did that for 5 minutes. I'll watch anything. I love TV. I will watch anything that's on a screen. One time we were on a family vacation, and there's the channel that used to show, it was like a closed circuit of the lobby. And this was before like reality TV became real big.
You watch
right?
everyone picking their nose.
So I would just watch it. I was like, watch people go in and out of the lobby.
Watching people pick your nose is also something you can do when you're a bored child in a car. You know what I mean? Did you go by the guy with the truck and go like pump your fist up and down and make honk honk?
Yeah.
Oh, and then you can play the game where you're looking for all of the alphabet on the things.
Oh, yeah.
Or all the license plates.
We would also play the game where you'd make a sign that said "Help! I've been kidnapped," and my grandparents did not like that. That was not a good sign.
That's not a good one. Did you
They
play
did
the
not
game?
like
Are
that.
mom and dad going to get divorced?
Because your parents are fighting.
Yeah, they fight.
Yeah.
Did your parents fight on the family vacations,
don't
or did
have-
you have like a perfect childhood?
My childhood was like kind of oddly wholesome.
Oh.
But I don't like also like I don't
Humble brag.
Poor Amanda had
But
a
I also don't
idyllic childhood.
remember going on family vacations past like the age of maybe 12.
Yeah, because the puberty
Like,
smells up
we
the
just-
car too bad,
we
and they
just
can't get the kids in
stopped.
there.
I do remember one spring break where I was probably so my siblings are 5 and 7 years older than me.
Oh yeah.
And I did one spring break where it was just
Did they ever sit on you?
Stuart sat on me and farted one time.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
But there was one spring break where we went to Florida, and it was me and my brother, his best friend David, and my dad. My mom was working; she
Okay.
couldn't come. My sister was with her friends because she's a teenager, and our close friends from Birmingham ended up going to the exact same spot as us, and they had a condo next door. And I remember going there and just hanging out with them. I disappeared. My dad didn't even know where I was the entire time. I was like just with them. I hung out with them because they had kids my age.
That's perfect.
And they had a honey baked ham.
Oh.
in the refrigerator, and I had never had honey baked ham before. I had never had ham.
Yes.
Before.
Like
So
Amanda is Jewish.
I would pull off the slices and eat it, and it was so delicious. And I came home, and my mom asked me about the trip, and she said, I had ham. And I had ham. Can we get some for the house? And she's like, that's pig, Amanda. And I was like, what?
He's like, no, it's ham.
No, it's ham.
Completely different letters.
It's so different. And there's this other thing called bacon.
So was your mom saying like in the culture like don't eat pig or like don't say because it has so like pork? Pig.
No, we didn't have allowed
Yeah.
pork in the house,
Right.
except on vacation. That's when we learned we could actually bring pork into the house
Oh,
on vacation.
is a little side rule here.
Yeah,
A
because it's not our house; it's someone else's. It's not. We would have.
So the house stays
bacon.
kosher.
It's the kosher rules, the Goldstein
God-
kosher rules.
Yeah,
Touch it with a
God's
berry
really
knife.
into zoning laws.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a big
You
thing.
compartmentalize.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
I know, right? I feel the same way about my diet. I am not supposed to eat carbs unless it's on a turkey sandwich, and then they're infinite.
You know, when you're in the airport, calories don't count. So
Yes.
go have that Auntie M's.
How about in the sky?
Cinnamon roll. And while you're flying,
I'm just trying to pass the time. Okay, so your parents didn't fight on the vacation?
there was they did not fight. I just remember.
Do you just
eating
travel
a
now and
lot.
not have anxiety?
No, I do. I do have
'Cause
anxiety.
I never know when to leave for the airport. I fly for a living, subjectively.
Yeah.
And I never know when to leave for the airport.
Do you tend to get to the airport too early or just right at the last minute?
No, don't even say the last minute. My tummy just did a flip flop. Oh, the check bag's not gonna make it.
I get so much anxiety about flying that I have to break it up into goals and not worry about the rest of it. So I'm like, I'm just getting to the airport right now. That's all I have to worry about. And then once I get to the airport, I'm like, I just have to check my bag. That's all I have to worry about. All I have to do is, and
That sounds very healthy.
it is. Well, I do that because if not, I get worried about running late. I realize I have anxiety. I do not like running late, and I think I have anxiety about it because it makes me
Extra early.
really, I get there we've done comedy shows before where I've gotten so early the venue's not even
Open?
and I'll just wait in my minivan.
I know.
With all my cup holders.
I can't work. Like if I have desk work, I'll just go to the airport and do it at the airport because I feel like I'm gonna get trapped into some desk work, and then come to, and it's gonna be I missed the time to leave for the airport to get to my flight.
Yeah.
And like it just takes one time of you missing a flight or you can't check your bag because you got. And I know people are like, check your bag. What is this amateur hour? Well, some of us fly with our merch now and are trying to sell our hats and our T-shirts, and make a connection. And so yeah, I know you're not supposed to check a bag. We checked. So we went to we flew to Florida one time when I was a preteen, and on Continental, and. They lost our luggage, and I was in Florida in my upstate. This is for spring break. Upstate New York winter outfit.
Oh no.
Sweater, long pants.
Ugh.
And in retrospect, if my mother was a better person, she would have told me to put my bathing suit in my carry-on.
Did you have to go?
Did
to
you hear that, Linda?
I was gonna say, she listens. She listens to this for sure.
And now there's stores everywhere. Everything's been overbuilt in Florida.
So you can go buy everything.
Yeah, but a lot of places it was just like an Alvin's Island. Do you know what Alvin's Island is?
No, what's that?
It just had everything you could ever want as a preteen and earlier.
Plastic jewelry.
Yes, and like the
that
seashell,
just want to kiss and nothing else.
the seashell necklaces, neon string bikinis, towels, floats.
Ooh, wow!
It had everything. You could have gone to Alvin's Island and gotten a bikini.
We were Epcot Center, stuff like that, Disney World. I know. So now, when we were with my kids when they were little, I'm like, okay, you need to bring a pair of clothes, which you also learn because they poop themselves. How many times have you been on an airplane and the diaper explodes? My friend said the baby was constipated for the entire trip, and so we gave her prune juice. But on the flight home, all the 3 to 4 days of prune juice finally caught up with
That's
her.
terrible.
And it exploded out the diaper, up the back, out onto her side, everywhere. and onto her clothes. Like, she had extra clothes for the baby, but not for herself. And so I was like, add that to the carry-on list of things you need to
that's
bring
terrible.
besides the bathing suit and the extra goggles.
There are not many times I had to travel with all 3 of my kids on an airplane when they were little, and it rarely happens now because we just drive everywhere.
Maybe just don't have kids.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good solution.
That's
Or just don't take them anywhere.
My life hack.
I think
Just leave them, put them
I
in
think
the closet.
one's a lot more mean.
Joel likes his solution.
You just have a cage, just some baby cages.
The crate, use the dog crates.
LL
Can
Bean.
we check them underneath? Can we just put them underneath?
Some LL Bean crates.
But my little life hack was like bringing food with us that they had never had before.
Oh, novel food. You're supposed to. Yeah, you're supposed to. Oh, I'm having a flashback. You're supposed to have a novel toy they've never played with before. Yeah, and like something interesting to keep them occupied because it's your fault if your child's bored on the airplane.
Well, and as they've gotten older, I don't even seat us all together. I keep us at the basic.
You want them to
economy.
spill their drinks on strangers instead of
they-
yourself. I
they
see how
love-
it is, Amanda Marks.
They
see
love
you.
talking to people.
Oh
They
my God.
love talking to people.
You have spawned yourself.
So-
you have put yourself as a duplicator.
They're sitting in the middle, and usually by the end, the people are appreciative because my kids aren't. I mean, this is they're great at conversationalists.
That's so
right?
cool. In an era when most kids can't talk to anybody because they've been on their phones since they were born. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, like I remember Ruby one time sat in between these 2 teachers who were like, "We just loved her." Like I was like, "Perfect." They're like, "Do you want to switch?" I'm like, "I'm good."
Your keeper.
She was like 9. I'm like, "She's fine." She's sitting in between 2 teachers. I'm like, "Great, I can see her head. She's
Oh,
good."
my son was sat behind a kid traveling by himself, and he was like relaying the conversation he was having with the strangers. He's like, the woman said, "I'm a grandma," and the little boy says, "Oh, I have a grandma too."
That's cute. That's
Oh
really cute.
God, yeah. Do you like? Have you? We've sent our children flying by themselves.
I started flying by myself when I was really young, and I actually have a memory of going to.
Do you have a stewardess outfit?
I do.
Yeah, I
Don't
saw
you?
it. I
No.
saw it coming.
And it's like catch me if you can. I have an outfit, so I get to fly for free.
You have Delta, United,
Yes, all of them.
Pan Am.
Yep. The Pan Am outfit for some
You're
reason
just sitting
does
there.
not
They're
work.
like, you need to be doing some work. And you're like,
I think I see a ghost.
I'm in the
Pan
jump
Am
seat.
costume.
Yeah. One time I was on a flight by myself to go visit my cousins in Baton Rouge, and I sat next to this guy who started proselytizing me.
Oh, because did you come Jewish? Or
I
like,
mean,
was he?
I don't know how we got on the subject.
Did you
but
tell them the ham story?
I was like, "You got ham? My parents aren't here. You got any ham in
I'll
your
check
pocket?"
this thing out.
He's like, "I got ham in my pocket."
Pocket
and then it
ham.
went. But no, he started proselytizing me, and
That sounds kinky.
it does. And I spent the entire flight trying to get him to. I was like, "No, I'm good." And then I got up to get off the airplane, and this adult came up to me, and she goes, "I was listening the entire time, and you did a great job standing up for yourself."
Oh, good.
But no, I was like, why the hell didn't you say something? I was like 12, and had this adult like
What was he saying?
trying to convert me.
Convert you? Was he saying like you're gonna burn in
What was
hell?
he trying to convert you to? Just
Christianity.
oh, you'd
No.
be like, well, we had your guy first.
Right? He was like
Home team.
quoting the Bible, which I can't do. We don't do that. We don't quote the Bible.
Yeah.
That's not what my people do.
Yeah.
Not quoting Bible verses.
That's rough.
Quote Beastie Boys verses. That's as
There you go.
There's my Torah.
There's a comedian who has a joke about like if you do Bible verses at me, I'm doing Harry Potter back at you. 'Cause that's my favorite book.
right. Yeah. Don't get me started.
Okay, so this is what happens on family trips in my family. I don't know if this happens with you, and this goes way back. There will be either an injury right before the trip or on the trip.
Oh no.
An injury or sickness. My father like broke his ankle and had to be on crutches at the airport one time. My husband was running the day before the day of we're flying to Hawaii, and he ran through a bush and it scratched his eyeball.
Oh, it's cornea.
Ugh.
Did he
And
have to wear a pirate patch?
He had to go get some medication so it wouldn't like
That's
hurt
awful.
on the trip. And
Did he get to wear a pirate patch though?
no, you
'Cause
didn't
that
get
would
to
be
do it. You like a
awesome.
pirate? Yeah, girl. All right. Then this is fun. I don't travel well. I have thrown
you
up
get nauseous?
on United.
Oh.
I've thrown up on American. I've thrown up on Delta. I've thrown up on a boat.
you
I've thrown up on a
carry-
train.
It's like a Dr. Seuss book. Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like. Do you carry
All the places you'll throw up.
Yeah, I have the barf bags.
Yeah.
I would steal them from the planes and
That's
keep
smart.
it in my bag. And then I found out if you have too much Dramamine, you can't poop. And it's very unsettling to be in a different country for 10 days and not poop the whole time.
I hate getting off my poop schedule. It's the worst.
It's the worst. Like, every day I'm like, is it gonna happen today?
So much pressure.
Should I stay home?
Both
How many?
figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. And then like, do you have how many espressos are gonna like? Did you? And I didn't know. This is a PSA. If you have
Apricots.
Dramamine though blocks you up. It dehydrates
I didn't
you,
know
and then you
that.
cannot make a doo doo.
Ew.
Womp womp. So have you ever had this, or you just?
I do get motion sick.
But
Or
has your
injuries?
family like they get the flu right before it's gonna happen, or you're on the plane and like the kid's like, I have a fever.
You making fun of this fever kid?
Yeah, they're little bitches.
I can't
You
remember.
save that fever for when we're home.
I mean, like, my kids have gotten sick while we're on vacation. I think it's just like a numbers game, right? Especially when kids are little. We've got, I mean,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Oh, one time we were in Hilton Head and Oscar was like 3 and he's just started crying and screaming about having a stomach ache, but so much so that it was scary, right? I was like, oh my God, does he have like a burst appendix?
Oh, yeah.
So I called up our pediatrician. It was the weekend and we were not in Georgia, and she could hear him yelling on the phone. She's like, you need to take him to the emergency room.
Okay.
So
yes.
there's no urgent cares. There's only an emergency room.
Yeah,
So
those
we-
are super cheap.
So we drive him.
Did you take in a helicopter there?
We were so worried.
Just go ahead and meet the deductible.
The whole entire time he's like crying and screaming in pain. We're getting there as fast as we can. He's crying when we check in. They see us first, right?
Oh, he's crying. So he's doing a good job. Yeah, getting
Yeah. So
attention.
as soon as we get in, they put a warm blanket on him. They hand him a popsicle, and he farts, and he goes, "I feel so much better."
Oh my God.
And it was the most expensive fart, most
Ever.
expensive popsicle you've ever had to pay for.
I think this is something that happens to children because we've been to the children's for what we thought was appendicitis. And it was someone hadn't made a duty in a while. And
That's
they
what
did
now
a little-
I know. In hindsight, I would
a little looky-loo.
stick your kid in a warm bath and
Yes. Oh, this is a thing. This is a trick too.
Yeah.
When you bring your children back and they get constipated on the trip, usually because they're not eating
Or
they're eating
yourself.
too much macaroni and cheese,
Yeah.
or
Or
myself.
yourself.
You put a child in the warm bath,
and that.
and then they will duty in there. It's called brown trout, y'all.
Oh yeah, I've had kids.
What is it?
duty
What
in
is it
the
about the
bathtub.
warm water?
It goes on their beehole, and it's
It
like
just relaxes
relaxing.
them. It relaxes everything, and then
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Joel, I can
science.
stick you in my bathtub after this podcast, and we can see if you're holding on to
I'm
anything.
very regular.
Oh, okay.
He's
okay.
good.
Not to brag, but I poop 2 to 3 times a day.
Oh
That
my
is a lot
gosh,
of
that's a
pooping.
problem.
That's not a problem.
Do you have any-
No,
Well, it depends how much you're eating too.
No,
and
'cause
what-
I-
Like, how's your gut biome?
I was worried about this but my brothers also poop a lot too.
okay,
And we've-
DNA.
It's all about.
I think it's about the biome in their
There's
gut.
no too much or too little pooping for like that's shared across people. Like if you are having just strain or you have like discoloration or blood, that's when you gotta get
Danger.
worried. But it's like, oh, are you just pooping regularly?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good.
Your body's pretty inefficient, is what I'm gonna say.
Shit.
If it's like just shooting anything and that comes in, you comes
I'm
out
not
right
like
away.
shooting it out right away.
Salad
He's
shooter.
not like a Play-Doh fun factory.
Like I'm like, oh, I ate corn last night and it's in there next afternoon. I'm not like,
Oh,
fuck,
okay.
it's not like running through.
It's not like in
I
and
just
out.
poop a lot.
Sometimes
He's like at the barn doors.
when I eat corn, sometimes I talk to it and I go, bye bye, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Oh gosh, I do that when I'm putting like a spider in the toilet. I'm like, have a nice ride in the toilet.
Have a good time.
Oh well.
You know it's gonna die, right?
Yeah.
No, it's just going
Some
on
amount.
vacation.
Just put it outside.
Okay, so your family, the not pooping, that's the bar for us. Oh, we went to try something new as a family together. The goal is to spend time with your family.
Yeah.
bond, have a memory. Because if the days are all the same, like during the pandemic, you don't make new memories, and it's like
one giant memory.
It's one giant memory. So we went snorkeling in the water in the ocean.
Okay.
And it was all jellyfish.
Oh no.
And I saw my husband's aunt kind of take the jellyfish tendril out of her nostril.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Oh, how'd she let it get that close?
You're looking down with your goggles and swimming along, and then the jellyfish.
Oh my god.
And there was a bunch of tiny ones. It was like all these tiny jellyfish.
It could have gotten to her brain.
It could have. Her personality completely changed.
No,
All
it
she
did
does is
not.
talk about the ocean. She's turned into a jellyfish.
You're lying.
No, I'm messing with
What?
you.
Did it sting her?
Believed you.
It stung her. She said it was burning and then it went numb, and then she took just a bunch of Benadryl.
Right.
Because so you don't have an allergic reaction to this sting.
No
and
one peed inside her
face
nose to relieve it.
Oh my god! Hard pee in my nose. Oh my god! Everyone had these big wetsuits on. It would take a half an hour.
Apparently, that's a myth.
It is a myth.
Oh, is
But
it?
still, people don't
But
know it's a myth.
you can tell a lot of people that if you want to get pissed on, you can be like, I got jellyfish.
It's just like
golden
landlocked.
shower from my
Oh
aunt.
no!
You're in the middle of Kansas.
Yeah.
A jellyfish came out of nowhere.
Yeah, like, it looks like you just put blush on your arm. Like, nope, gotta pee on it.
Gotta pee right now.
So yeah, I feel like my anxiety has now been. You start like family vacation. That's a great idea. That's the American dream. And then you live, and you're like, oh wow, it's a lot of work and a lot of stuff
You
goes
need a
wrong.
vacation from your vacation.
You need a
I think
vacation
it's a
from your
lot of
vacation.
work for moms, especially.
Right. And the paperwork too. Like my husband's doing so much paperwork for us to go on our trip.
Paperwork? Where are
Yes.
you going?
Norway.
Do you know you can go dog sledding in Norway?
Well, it's not on the itinerary, and I don't think we can change it because we already signed all the paperwork. But thanks for telling me.
But why do you need what kind of paper? You need like a visa,
You need a
travel
visa, and then you have to like ask permission to come into the country, and then like you have like the plane is like, are you sure you have your passport? Like, I'm sure I have my passport, and then you have to rent the car, and then you have to have like where you're staying, and then you have to stay somewhere else the next night where you're staying, and then who's giving you the tour?
You have to
and
give
then,
them all this information.
like, so just like to like get it all.
You have to plan your trip ahead of time. You can't play anything by ear. You have to give them your
no,
itinerary.
there's no playing by ear in the Brown House. Are you kidding me? No.
No, I mean in Norway.
Oh no, like
Norway
we don't have to
once-
give it to the government. I don't think. Like you give it to
yeah.
like your first and your last place.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a lot of paperwork. And then like if you're getting the insurance, and then and then the mom's the packing. The packing is my job, and now I have to figure out what actually is waterproof versus water resistant because it rains every day there, and we have to have the water pants.
This is good water pants.
Are your shoes waterproof? Do you know if your shoes are waterproof?
My shoes I'm wearing right now are.
Because they're flip flops.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily waterproof.
But it's not like they're gonna. Wait, for what? Are you going on a water hike?
We're going hiking.
Okay.
And it rains every time. It's
I'm
like
wearing-
Ireland, I guess it rains every
Yeah.
time.
I'm wearing
and you just hike.
rugged flip flops. So
That's not a word.
yes, it is. Go look.
Oh, they're.
I would. I don't know if I'm flexible
kind of-
enough to put my foot
Well,
up on
people
this
can't
table.
They have to listen to it too,
Yeah.
so they can't even.
It's a
see
rugged
it.
flip
It does-
flop. You have to believe.
It does have
me.
an ankle strap. I'll give
they're
it.
straps.
I'll give it
These
that.
they're like Tevas.
Yeah, but you can't
but
hike in
fashion
those
forward.
in Norway. Yeah,
They're
so
platform hot pink water shoes.
Okay, so I got a text from a friend, and she said, "Just discovered a new kind of child torture, the Louvre."
Oh, I did that.
The Louvre is a big museum in Paris with a lot of art in
My
it.
friend she said she had her first panic attack
Really?
in the Louvre.
As
Yeah.
a child or a mother?
No, just like recently as an adult.
As
She's
an
our
adult.
age. Yeah.
It's very overwhelming, and there's a lot of tourists.
And it's hot in there.
It's hot. They don't have real air conditioning or possibly deodorant that
You
works
know what
properly.
is also makes it bad is when your husband likes to read everything.
You got a reader?
Yeah.
Oh,
He loves plaques. He loves to read plaques. So he's like at the Grecian heads for God knows how
too long. And you've seen the whole
and
thing.
I left him. And he's like, where are you? And I'm like, I don't know, Italian Renaissance. It's like 1827. I'm around that. I don't know. I sent him a
1,000
picture.
years in the future.
Yeah, I sent him a picture of someone staring at me, and then I sent him a picture of a cow. I'm like, this is where I am. Come find me. I'm sitting on a bench.
It does. My husband's a reader. We went to the Checkpoint Charlie Museum in Berlin, and there was, I don't know, maybe 5 rooms. An hour and a half later, I'm waiting for him at the end. I go back in. He's still in the first room, and I'm like, we have a lunch reservation. We've got to go. And I walk him through all the other rooms, and he's like, oh, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, this is why you
they love information.
You graze, you scan, get a feeling. Highlights, yeah. We're not memorizing it.
I'm not a museum person. I do like weird museums.
Okay, what's a weird museum,
weirdo?
Weirdo?
I do like I'll go to like a sex museum if there's like a sex museum or something like that.
I love you. I love you so much.
Or like I went when we were in Ireland, and all the museums are free in Ireland, and I went to.
They are like in
yes,
DC.
Yeah. So we went to. It sounds different than what I'm saying. We went to the Children's Museum, but it wasn't a museum
for children.
It was a museum about children.
Oh.
And it had all these
creepy
dolls. And also like toys throughout the ages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was really
a lot
weird.
Of hand saws.
And like,
matches.
That's super creepy.
It was super creepy, but also I liked it much better than going to a traditional museum, you know? I like weird stuff.
You like weird stuff.
Yeah, it's more fun.
I feel like when I was in my 20s, when I would travel, like it was life changing. I would be like, oh my God.
Museums?
I'm absorbing a culture. I'm looking at art. I'm going to remember this art for the rest of my life. And now I'm in my 40s and I'm like looking at stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to remember this tomorrow because I've had too many days in a row and I can't remember anything anymore.
I went, you know what? We went to Spain and we went to, there's a bullfighting museum. Unfortunately, there's still bullfighting.
I'm so
sad. And it's so mean. And I love cows. Cows, I literally looked up, can I go visit any cows in Spain? There were no cows for me to see. I want to hug a cow, not fight a cow. And there's so many, I felt so, and the museum was in this bullfighting arena that was still active, it was not bullfighting season. So we just went to the museum part, but they had these giant stuffed like taxidermy bulls, and I was apologizing to all of them, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Aww. You're such a handsome boy.
Yeah.
But everything's in Spanish, and I took French in high school, so I don't understand anything, but I used ChatGPT as my tour guide.
Yeah.
I took pictures, not just to translate, because some stuff didn't have any explanation, not even in Spanish. And I was just like, this is where I am. Can you explain the context of it? And it was awesome.
Yeah,
It's
it's pretty cool. We were doing that in Japan.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's wild.
I love ChatGPT.
You can like, there's a Google thing where you can hold the phone over and it's like in a picture mode and it's like looking at whatever you're trying to translate, and it translates in the image that you're reading it to whatever language you speak. It's pretty cool.
Aaron did that with menus.
Yeah. See what it is. And guess what? If you're in Spain, it's all pork. Amanda, did you know that?
That is what?
It's all pork, prosciutto, jamon.
Oh yeah, Spain is a giant charcuterie board.
It's all you get. It's all you get.
Well, luckily I'm not a vegetarian anymore.
But you would have starved to death.
It was delicious.
Did you eat jamon in España? Or
yes, I ate all the things.
Good. Yeah, that's fun. Did you have the prosciutto that the pigs only eat chestnuts or acorns? The fancy one, they only eat the acorns.
I don't know what I was eating. I was just like whatever they put in front of me. We ate octopus. And chicharrones, which are like little squid.
Oh, damn.
Aaron my husband, he took Spanish in high school, but he wasn't using any Spanish while we were there. And I was like, you got to learn basic phrases to communicate.
Yes.
Which was easy for me. I have a really good memory. So I was loosely having conversations when we were at restaurants with people and stuff like that. But then we went to Paris, and that's when Aaron decided to speak Spanish.
It took him that long.
I was like,
he remembered it later.
He kept on speaking Spanish to people. And I was like, okay, you get it. He's like, see. I'm like, no.
My dad was speaking Spanish in Hawaii.
Oh, why?
Because they go to Mexico every year. Mm-hmm. And he was like in a beach place again. And
right,
I think
so he was
his hard drive was set to Spanish.
Right.
And I'm like, these guys are Americans and they're like never had Spanish
Nothing
speakers.
made me happier than being mistaken
Oh,
for Parisian.
Oh, I can see that.
And I tried purposely not to dress like an American, which is kind of easy for me. Like, I'm not like, it's like basically athleisure, I feel like is a very American thing.
Right.
And they don't dress like that.
David
there.
Sedaris says, I don't know why Americans come to Europe dressed like they're about to mow everyone's yards.
I even dressed Aaron. I did. I got him all from Old Navy. Thank you, Old Navy.
But we when we go to Europe, my husband does not wear shorts. He only wears long pants.
Oh, it's too hot for that.
He actually got, okay, I'm going to say some slurs. They're not called the Romanians. You're not supposed to say gypsy anymore.
Yeah, just say Romanians.
The Romanians.
You didn't even have to say that. You could just
Yeah,
say
you could just
Romanians.
Well, I don't know. People know because there is a country called Romania.
Yeah.
And those people aren't the same thing as the ones who are in the streets in Italy.
Maybe they're formerly Romanian Italians.
There's I don't know. Anyway,
Look
they
that up
were
on
swarming. You know, the kind where they throw a baby at you.
Did that happen to you?
They swarmed us.
And they threw a fake baby at you?
No, so we split ways.
I'd like to catch a baby. I'd be so good at catching babies.
My husband said in Italian, "We don't have anything for you." Like, he speaks Italian.
Yeah.
And he heard them say in Italian, "He's Italian, leave him alone."
Oh.
So that's some street cred. That's what
But
happens
look
if you
at
don't.
his American wife.
Yeah.
That's what happens if you don't wear shorts and you
Yeah.
speak Italian.
He also must have had a good accent.
Yeah, I think he's very good at languages.
The problem when you speak just a few phrases is that they answer you back.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
And then you have to understand. Like, I realized that. I was like, I
Listen.
asked for directions somewhere, and then they answered. And Aaron's like, "Where are we going?" And I was like, "I have no idea." This was when we were in Italy years ago, before smartphones.
Yeah.
So we didn't have like Google Translate or maps or
It was
GPS
little-
on our
little
phone.
books. You had to travel with
Yeah.
books. Like, where am I going? What are these like dictionaries?
That's my anxiety, is all around getting lost and having to be the navigator. And I thought I was really bad at directions, and it ends up I was just not paying attention.
Oh.
And so once I married Aaron, I realized he's terrible at direction. He has no sense of direction. I have a very good sense of direction once I pay attention.
Okay.
And it's all on me. I'm the navigator, if like a Boy Scout. And it's like,
And then are you having a relaxing trip when you have to be the navigator?
no, I'm not.
Yeah. And then how to park, it's a whole thing. We brought our kids to Europe and they were too little. It was stupid. I don't know what I was thinking.
That's
and we
dumb.
brought them to Versailles. And my son laid down in the Hall of Mirrors.
Yeah.
And on his back, and I'm dragging him on his back, and I'm like, get up. And it was packed with tourists. I'm like, you're gonna get trampled in here. You've got to get up. He tried to kill himself in the Hall of Mirrors. He laid on his back, and I
That
pulled him
sounds like
through a buffet.
That sounds like something that would be in like the Avengers movie, The Hall of Mirrors. Like, I don't even know what that is. It sounds like a fun house. Are there mirrors?
Well, mirrors have just been invented,
are they
and they
fun?
got really big ones.
Oh,
in
they
the
were
sky.
excited about
They were
mirrors.
excited about mirrors, and like I guess they even ran the fox hunt through this building.
It was the first version of a selfie. Really, they couldn't look at
see
themselves, right?
Yeah, be like, oh, I only have 3 teeth. Oh, rats.
Dang, I thought it looked better than that.
Right? All my smallpox scars.
Speaking
That's
of,
such a fancy place to have a hissy fit.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then he could see himself having the hissy fit.
I wish we took pictures.
Well,
of
he
him on
just
the
saw
ground.
himself winning over his mom.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to be careful about where it's like what. Say, here's the problem.
Yeah.
You want to have a good family experience, making memories. Where do you go for a family summer trip?
Me? Are you asking?
That's the question is
well,
open for the
yeah,
table because
well-
the national parks are full.
Well, number one, I'm going to say don't take them to Europe. My rule of thumb always was if they're not going to remember, but you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a pain.
What a pain.
And it's so expensive.
It's so expensive, and it's so hot now. Europe is
yeah.
in the summertime is very, very hot.
It is hot. My kid was talking about it being so hot, and
That's why we're going to Norway.
and blaming climate change, and then blamed all the generations before him. And I apologized, but then I told him, you know, I'm sorry, but I was the president of the Students for Environmental Action at my high school, and we built a homecoming float out of old Coke cans. So I did my part.
You did your part.
I did my part.
Fossil fuels
I did
aren't
what I
being used
could.
anymore in
Right?
Alabama because of you.
It was all us.
Yeah.
All us in our homecoming float.
There's
So,
definitely not any wells there pulling this oil out of the ground in Alabama.
No.
Is it farts or is it the fossil fuels that it's making everything too
Cow
hot?
farts.
Cow farts?
It's cow farts.
It's like giant corporations.
And driving.
No, but that's not making fossil fuels
Oh, making fossil fuels?
yes.
Uh,
that are heating the environment.
I mean, it's a mixture, but cow farts are,
Yeah, I can't remember which
I
one's
think
more.
we said at the
to
top of
blame.
the hour we would have no science or facts. So you're getting right into both science and facts mode. So
I know avocados are pretty reckless.
Oh.
They are doing
their carbon
and
footprint is not good.
Yeah, they use a lot of water,
Oh.
and then almonds, I guess,
Oh,
are
yeah, I
now
heard about-
acting a fool.
I've heard about almonds.
Yeah. All right.
That's why I got attitude from the barista when I asked for almond milk with my
Yeah.
latte. She's like, "Ugh, you want almond milk?"
I've heard this. You do a day of activity and then a day of non-activity, and the day of activity, a day of non-activity, and that's how you survive a family trip. So it's like one day it's like we are going to the Louvre, and then the next day is we're just gonna hang out at this park and eat croissant. And Mom and Dad are gonna drink a bottle of wine.
That is not how we vacation. We go to the beach and do nothing. And all my kids,
they love
and
it?
we have, so my parents have a place, so it's free.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's what we do, and they take turns like bringing a friend, but they all like to do different
do you have
stuff.
to cook all the food then? Are you just like cooking and going to the grocery store every day?
I do. I'm always on duty, but they're older now, so it feels different. But when the kids are younger and you're near any body of water, you're just constantly just keeping them alive.
And covered in sunscreen.
They eat sand and they poop out sand. It's gross.
We had a sand eater.
I think we're not good at promoting the I have a child lifestyle to Joel. He's like, y'all are just like.
Oh, I'm already sold on not having children. You're just reinforcing my correct decision.
It's a lot easier now. My kids are very independent.
Have you ever traveled with another family and then the spouses are fighting?
That's uncomfortable. No, we're so there's not a lot of people who we would want to travel with, and
That's hard. Everyone's got to get along, and you have to like their parenting style,
and you have to be on the same page.
and they have to like put their kids to
you-
bed at the same time as your kids, so they're not all fighting. And
Right.
do they like if their children are napping? You can't have like loud children.
I don't
and
do
when
that.
their kids
I
are
don't-
napping.
I like my privacy, and I like to do my own thing.
And you're not a swinger.
I don't want. No, I'm not. Not
I was just testing.
be sure. So no, like I just can't. I don't want to share my space with anyone except for my kids. You know, like I don't. It's just too. That's too much.
But then I am an extrovert, and all my family are introverts. Maybe I can come hang out with your family.
You should. You can come meet up with us, but you can't stay with me
I get lonely.
unless you bring me honeyed ham. Then we can talk.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't let us bring ham into their place. That being said, in case she's listening, don't worry, Mommy. We're not bringing any bacon into your condo. Okay.
Yeah, no pigs in there.
You just have to go eat the ham in the car.
We go eat it.
Oh my
we
gosh,
grill it down by the pool
Yeah.
Is there
in the car.
Is there
I eat car ham.
car ham? Is there shame eating? Because anything you're eating in a car is kind of shame eating.
It is shame eating.
Do you shame eat ham in the car?
No, I eat it at restaurants, and there's no shame. I'm like, I don't eat ham. I usually just eat bacon. It's really or,
You said there was
or
a
ribs.
loophole. You said there was a loophole with bacon, with the
The loophole.
Chosen.
The loophole is it's bacon.
and you're from Alabama,
Right. I can't help it. Like you say, you have that whole bit about all
Yeah,
vegetables.
all my Jewish friends in Atlanta eat pork tacos.
or that all the vegetables come with pork.
yeah.
They're all pork.
Yeah.
They're all cooked with ham hock or whatever.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
green beans, the Brussels sprouts.
It was hard for me to avoid not
eating. It's impossible.
It's hard. Yeah.
I mean,
Especially in like growing up in the 80s. It was not like you wouldn't even ask what's in this.
oh yeah, no one was a vegan yet. That hadn't been invented.
No one knew what that was.
Okay, so you can't take your children to the national park. You're saying the beach trip is like the best viable. I think
For me,
because the activity is something the kids love to do, which I think I agree.
there's when you have teenagers also, they can be a little more independent.
Have you ever gone
know?
camping? I've never camped with my children.
So
It's very cost effective, and it's in nature time, and you get them off their tablets.
There's an emotional
so they can watch you
cost
cry while
to
you
camping.
can't make a fire.
So our friends go to Cumberland Island to go camping.
I've heard
which,
stories.
Joel, they have wild horses on this island. How
It's a
did wild
barrier
horses get to
island.
an island? I don't know.
They can swim.
But there's not
Terrifying.
You have to take a ferry. There's no cars on it. So basically you pack everything with you. And there's no Walmart on Cumberland Island.
no Walmart.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There is a hotel.
There's a hotel that's $800 a night.
It's very fancy.
So I'm not even joking, because if you like are like freaking out over camping, there's no other option.
Yeah.
And the ferry isn't all the time. It's not like you can leave.
Why do you go here?
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
It's charming. It is charming, but you have to go at the right time of year. Did they go at the wrong time of year?
So first of all, I want to just back up a little and just say, I would be in charge of packing everything. And that is not, and cooking and cleaning and all of that stuff, and making sure all the kids have, what is that pyramid of things you need?
Talking about the food pyramid?
No, not the food pyramid, where it's like you need shelter. And
The hierarchy.
The hierarchy of
needs or something.
yeah, the
like
hierarchy
fresh
of
water.
needs. Like I am like, that's what I'm in charge of as a mom, whether we're at the house or on vacation.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, it was too much for me to have to do all that.
Bring fresh water enough for 5 people.
Yeah, so
over for a couple of days.
So
is
Aaron
overwhelming.
took our oldest with this family.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm not going to help you. I don't want to be a part of it. You got to pack everything. So
Good for you for having a boundary.
Well, I was like, I'm not going. I'll take the other 2 somewhere else. So he went. They mostly had a good time, except he brought the wrong tent poles for the tent, so they didn't have.
I'm not. That's like that whole sentence made me just like, ugh.
But
wrong tent poles.
Right. So they didn't have a tent. They
did.
They had like sleeping bags though, and I just my friend Sarah, who was one of the mom that was with this family, every year she tries to get me to go, and she drew this little diagram, and she goes, it was as if I was her child, and I was like, this is not going to go well. She's like, this is your comfort zone, and sometimes you need to do stuff outside your comfort zone. And she made an X, and she's trying to she thought this diagram was going to convince me to go camping.
Oh my God.
In this situation where I have to be in charge of everything.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay. I said, I redrew her diagram. I go,
should we go egg her house?
I go, this is a happy marriage. This is divorce. I said, this has nothing to do with my comfort zone. I go, I know I have boundaries, and and it's okay to go on separate vacations sometimes.
It is. And I wouldn't have thought that with my children or babies, but now I'm all over it. I think that's a great idea. We had friends that went camping in Cumberland Island in the summertime, which is the absolute mosquito murder time of the year.
Yeah.
And it was so hot. Mm-hmm. And so they couldn't, the tent was too hot. So they went out. One of them tried to sleep on a dock to try to get closer to the water. And then they had to cover themselves in like every piece of clothing they had. And then like cover their face with, a hoodie, and like pull the hoodie real tight to keep the mosquitoes off. And then like they just ate around his face where his nose was sticking through the hole of his hoodie.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, they made it one night. You're supposed to go in winter when it's.
They went in February.
Perfect.
But so I took my kids to my aunt's house in Cashers when they were there, and I get a text message at 3 a.m. from my husband asking me to charter a boat.
To charter a boat to come get me.
And I was like,
Mommy, come get it. Your husband's like, Mommy, come get me.
Please come charter a boat.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, you called it.
This was, by the way, this was the second time he went. And
he
also,
already knew.
So the first time he had it was like this experience. The second time he's like, please.
Why'd he go back?
I don't know.
Charter a boat.
Also, those horses are fully feral.
Yes, they're wild horses.
And
They will bite you.
And
They'll
they
bite.
have even.
Do they attack?
No.
I mean,
pretty chill.
probably if you mess with them,
Attack
they're
horses?
used to seeing humans, so they're not like
Yeah.
aggressive.
Right.
But they have like adapted because they've been there since around the 18th century from Spanish. They have adapted so they drink salt water
Wow.
because there's not that much fresh water, so they have literally just evolved to be able to like drink salt
that's
water.
So interesting.
that sounds like a lie.
I wonder if humans could evolve to
I
drink
don't know.
salt
We
water.
would have already by now.
I mean, I'm sure that there's. I mean, it's this saying like these
particular
specific
horses.
horses because they're on this, this barrier island.
That's very curious.
Because
horses
are
are
animals who can drink salt water.
Horses are classically finicky in the tummy area.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean that's. It's just because it's like Spanish people back in the 18th century came to this island. That's where this is like castles. I will say there's a lot of ruins and castles that look cool on here.
It's cool.
I
it's
would
very
go.
Relaxing.
You could do a day trip.
I would do a day trip there,
Yeah.
but the idea of
it's right near Amelia Island. No, where is it?
There's several barrier islands off the coast of
This is a
Georgia.
barrier vacation.
yeah,
I just feel
wouldn't
like-
stay the night. That sounds ridiculous.
I feel like when your husband called and he was like, charter a boat, come get me. That's when the chart comes out again and you're like, you're here. I'm over X marks the spot in the mountains in North Carolina in a different state.
Right. You got to charter your own boat, babe.
Charter your own boat. Build your own canoe.
They
Nick
ended up
Offerman.
being okay.
I would not. I would go. I would day trip it there.
I would day trip.
But I would not stay the night.
My husband and I went on a boat trip in the Galapagos, and that's the only way you can see these islands that are a cluster of evolution, and that's where Darwin got the idea. And the first day on the boat, I threw up.
Yeah, I get motion sick on boats.
Sick as a dog. He's laying on the top of the boat trying to make his peace with Jesus, and he's like, okay, we got it. He's got to plan our escape. Like he wants to charter a boat to get off a boat. He's like, if we stop
because you were staying on the boat.
Like, so you have to take the boat. You ride it to different islands. Like you stay on the boat for like 7 days to get to the islands.
Dramamine wasn't working.
I was in the Dramamine. I was also pregnant at the time, but he's like, I can't live like this. He's like, at the next island we're stopping at, it's our last place. We can get there's an airport. We can get a helicopter. Like he was trying to figure out how to get away.
Is
the worst.
It's really bad.
Oh God.
Aaron keeps on forgetting that I get motion sick, and he's like, "Why don't we go on a boat? Why don't we go deep sea fishing?" I'm like, "No, are you trying to murder me?"
Oh my God.
Like
Yeah.
we went to go do the snorkeling with whale sharks, and we are on this boat, and it's speeding like 30 minutes into the middle of the ocean. But once it stopped, that's when I started throwing up. And they decided to throw me in the water first because they're like,
It helps you. It helps you. Actually,
did
were you throwing up in the water?
No, but I got like totally
Salt water in you?
I'm freaked out. Like, what is that? There's like that thing where you have fear of like deep water.
Oh, I think it's called being
rationality.
human. Yeah. Yeah, were you having a little panic attack in there
but
by
it
yourself
was weird
with the
because
sharks?
Like my head was fine, my body was flipping its shit.
Yeah.
It was like, where the fuck did you put me?
This is
Get me out of
dangerous.
here. And then the whale shark was not even, it was swimming away. I wasn't afraid of the whale shark.
Thalassophobia is the fear of ocean or large bodies of water.
Yeah, I don't even like being in a lake.
Have you been to Stingray City? It's off an island like Barbados or something, and you go and there are all these stingrays, and you're supposed to get in the water and touch them, like the ones that killed the guy in Australia.
But sometimes they take the barbs out.
My son, we got into the water. We touched one. You're supposed to just touch one. He's like, okay, I did it. And then he climbed up me, and I swear to God, he ran across the top of the water into the boat. So like he was so freaked out.
It's their world, and we're just visiting.
Yeah, you shouldn't. No one.
Yeah.
If we were supposed to go in the ocean, we would have gills.
We'd have gills.
It would be water world.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a reason why something evolved. I know life started in the ocean and it came up, but that's why someone was like, what if we get out of here?
We did one of those excursions. It was a grandparent trip on a Disney cruise, and we did the excursion with the dolphins, which I feel like is mean, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not nice, but we did it.
Okay.
And then they're like, there are all these things you're supposed to do. They're like, everyone's going to do this with the dolphin, that you're going to get them to wave. And there was one where the dolphin would come up to you and you'd kiss the dolphin.
Oh no, he bit your face off.
No, what do you know about me and my lips?
I don't know.
I like to wear bright lipstick.
Oh.
So I kissed the dolphin,
And it had lipstick
and
on
I got
it.
lipstick all over that dolphin.
Lipstick on
and
the
I was
dolphin.
like, oh no, I didn't know what to do. I was like, and then everyone's pictures, there's like this like orange lip mark on the dolphin, and everyone's like, what's wrong with the dolphin? And
Oh,
that was
gosh.
me. I did
That's
it.
hilarious.
I kissed the dolphin.
You can't
and
be
I
the
liked
first
it.
one. I had a grandma like you
yeah.
that would. She had a bunch of lipstick by her door and a mirror, and she would right by her keys, and she'd put her lipstick on and leave the house.
I do. I love my lipstick.
Dolphins are aggressive.
They can be. There's dolphins that will try and have sex with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Joel and I know about that.
I don't know how the way you said that. I've just read about this.
Leopard
I don't
tops.
know.
There's like, yeah, I watched a video about it, but
Yeah.
it didn't show the actual act. But someone's
Yeah.
telling about their dolphin
they're
They're
okay.
too smart.
or too
Have
horny.
you ever had your luggage lost?
No,
Speaking
Has
of
has
dolphin
anyone ever
assault,
forgotten to put your
my
bag
dolphin luggage.
your bag in the car? Wait, has anyone forgotten to put your bag in the car? This is a classic thing.
No, this is those things that are on my checklist of where's my
Yeah.
luggage. I bought AirTags this time when we went
Oh,
traveling
smart.
so I could check my luggage because I kept on thinking also we had to take a train. I was worried my luggage was going to get taken
Off the
train.
train. That's always stressful.
So I
because-
kept on my stuff. It's back to my dream about my stuff. Where's my
Yeah.
stuff? I need my stuff. I got to pack my stuff.
That's one of the anxiety dreams I have. I have like two. I have to get on the school bus and I'm naked and I'm at school. So that's like three terrible things at the same time.
Okay.
I have to go on and do a show. It's a musical. I haven't gone to any of the rehearsals. And now it's turned over to I have to do a set and I can't remember any of my jokes.
Oh no.
And the third one is we are at a hotel. We need to move hotels right now. And we need to pack up all the stuff. And I can't find my key. Kenton has the key. What about the kids' room?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, next time you're having that dream, hopefully you're lucid dreaming and just leave all this stuff.
Just leave all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Leave it. I used to have the reoccurring performance dream where I was on stage and I didn't know my lines.
Yeah.
And then I started doing stand up and I had that dream again. And I go, oh, I can just do my set. And then I stopped having that dream.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you fixed it.
I fixed
You
it.
fixed it. We've left our son's favorite stuffed animal in a hotel in Wyoming. They
Yeah.
couldn't find it.
Oh.
We've left things everywhere. Wallets, like nothing. You're very tidy.
No, well, Aaron left a whole entire drawer of his clothes when we went on a vacation. And
Who unpacks?
And
Do you unpack? So there's,
I do packing cubes.
I can't trust myself.
I do packing cubes, and I kind of keep the cube in the drawer now. I sound a lot more type A than I actually am.
I'm surprised. I thought
I'm
you were
not-
good. Well, you like you have this happy childhood and you've never lost a luggage, so I can see why you have moved through life
my dad
with joy in your heart.
My dad's really. my dad was a lieutenant in the Army when he was really young,
Okay.
so he's
Did
really
he run a tight ship?
he ran like the operations and the supplies
In the home,
in
though.
Vietnam.
So did he run a tight ship with you?
Not emotionally, but no, he wasn't really. My mom put him in charge of certain things, like cleaning dishes, and he was like we'd be in the middle of finishing up breakfast, and he'd like grab a knife and I'd be like, I'm still spreading my cream cheese. He's like, I gotta do the dishes.
Knife time is over.
It would really come out, and he like ran a business, and like he's really organized. He has this thing we call the binder of death,
Oh,
which is
God.
like when he passes on, it's like everything we need to know.
Oh,
and
that's
he's really organized.
That literally is the binder of
Yeah,
death.
like you
Okay.
really, but you wouldn't know. He's not like a strict dad.
Uh-huh.
He's really laid back and sweet, and you would never know. But then these little things come out where you're like, oh, what is happening? And you're like, chill out. Like we went on vacation once, and he's like, okay, kids, I got a bag for all your dirty clothes. Don't put anything in here unless it's dirty. Like he would come up with like
tidy
little
stuff.
little solutions like that.
What a helpful father. Jeez.
He's a good dad.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's really lovely. Okay. That my dad just put his dirty laundry on top of the furniture in our living room.
Oh, that's Dad's underwear.
Where he took
It's
it off.
dirty. Yeah.
And now my children do the same thing. Basically, I might be. We might all have ADHD. It turns out. We're just connecting the dots on things. I remember as a child being like in the car for hours and hours and hours, and then like we got somewhere. And I looked under my mom's car, like where she had been driving, and she had a bunch of Junior Mint boxes. She had been Was there a Junior Mint offered to anyone else in the
No,
car?
she ate 'em all.
Absolutely
Oh,
not.
I
But
love
there was
Junior
like
Mints.
5 empty boxes of Junior Mints under her seat. She was hoarding them, but she had to drive a long way. I don't blame her.
Road trips.
Do you ever have like the watery sandwich at the bottom of the cooler?
Ew.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the soggy crust.
No, we just bring snacks.
Okay.
Like snacks for road trips. And I've been in charge of snacks, and then I put my foot down, and I was like, you got to pack your own snacks. I'm done, because I then have to distribute the snacks.
Yeah, you turn into the snack lady.
And I have to
You're the
play
stewardess.
DJ. And then Aaron does not if
Kira.
I'm driving, I like to drive listening to music or zoning out. And he's like, can you ask me questions? So I have to interview him.
Oh, you have to interview? Oh my
He's
God.
like, ask me questions. I'm like, can you just talk and we'll have a conversation.
You're like a geisha. Like you're on call for giving everyone their tea and making conversation. Jesus. Yeah, Kira Slovanovich has a great joke about going in her minivan with her children, and then they're like, "We want a movie, we want snacks," and she's like pushing a little cart up and down the aisle of the minivan. Peanuts for you, Diet Coke for
That's how
you,
it feels. Oh my
chicken,
God.
beef.
We would do if we did road trips in the minivan. Whoever sat in the middle seat, because this was like whenever it was like just the two connected, so it's like 3 in the back, 2 in the two seat. If you sit in the middle seat, you're on snack duty because we would put the cooler there. We wouldn't pre-make sandwiches because they get soggy, but we would bring all the stuff for it. But so that was your duty, and that was usually left to one of the kids. My mom wasn't very nurturing, so she nothing was left to her because she would.
You guys were
Yeah, she also
the kids were running the
I
show.
didn't like family trips because they were stressful because they'd be like, all right, well, we need to leave at 7, and it was like my mom would be like, I know that I said we should leave, so I'm not ready, and it's 8:30. It's like, cool. It's so late.
Well, we have a quote in our family. It's we have plenty of time, and it's when we don't have plenty of time. like everyone's stressing out. Yeah. I just want to give a big hug to all the women or care providers, whoever that role is. It can be a child in a family. It can be a spouse, the husband, the uncle, whoever is thinking ahead about people's needs and has to do all the work and think about has to pack the Band-Aids and you got a bug bite medicine and everyone's throwing up. We need diarrhea medication.
Well, now there's a store everywhere you go, and Amazon. You can just get something the next day. So it's
a little less stressful.
It's a little less stressful.
That's a good point. Maybe I forget about that.
You know, I'm as long as I have my phone, I can get a charger.
Yeah.
And
I traveled with some women recently.
My favorite bathing suit, then I'm good.
You're good. I traveled with some women recently, and not a single one of them brought a charger for their phone.
Oh.
And I felt so relieved. I'm like, oh, we can just do that? We can just be a mess? I was like, I didn't know. I thought
you're
I
not
had
in charge of anyone else.
I thought I had to not be a mess, to be a proper grown up. And you can just be a grown adult. These women have jobs. Yeah. They are fancy, and they just
fancy.
No charger. Okay, I'm going to stop wearing underpants. What else are we doing? That's just insane?
Do you wear underpants?
Yes, I wear underpants because it's sloppy down there.
That's when you need to wear underwear, Amy.
That's disgusting. I didn't mean that. Joel just threw up.
Just take better care of your vagina. The way you talk about, I'm just so worried about your pH levels.
That's so sweet. What a nice
sweet.
guy.
Yeah.
It's because she's just the way. It's the way that this person with a vagina knows nothing about vaginas.
You know, I'm just remembering now. I went to Hawaii and I forgot to bring any underpants for myself.
Did you buy
It was
underwear?
a family trip. No, I wore my son's.
You wore boxers? You wore the tighty whities?
He was little too. He had these little ones, and they were turned into a boy short on me. And I just wore those one pair the whole time.
That's
Oh
what it
my
looks like I'm
God.
wearing. I look like I'm wearing boy shorts, but they're just really short denim shorts.
I also went through a phase where I forgot to bring brushes. I would always forget a brush. But my children had everything they needed.
Toothbrushes. The kids forget I always bring that extra toothbrush you get from the dentist office with me, just in case.
I feel like I have to go have a drink now. I'm so stressed out from talking
You get
about
to have
this.
some turkey sandwiches.
I'm going to have turkey sandwiches, and I'm going to drink, and I'm not going to get on an airplane for the next 24 hours, and I'm going to feel good.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Shout out everyone to the person who's listening to this on the airplane. Yeah, sending you a hug on the way to a family vacation or on the way back. Everyone's sunburned.
Yeah.
And in a bad, hungover, in a bad mood. Like, who got the baby drunk? All right. I love you, Amanda. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me here in Amy's walk-in closet. I've moved in. She has no idea. I'm available everywhere. Mall of Amanda. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Yeah.
Or just call me.
You have a podcast with your sister that's adorable.
Oh, yeah. I do have a podcast with my sister, Sis and Tell, who, by the way, I talked about having a wholesome childhood, but she ignored me for the first 18 years of my life. So,
well, she's older, right?
The payback, the retribution is she's committed to doing a podcast with me for 18 years to make up for that.
Oh.
And we are at year 7.
That's amazing.
So she just has 11 years left. So you only have
There you go.
7 years to catch up one of our podcasts.
Serving hard time.
Right.
Is yours weekly?
It's weekly when we're taking a little hiatus right now.
Okay, I hear you.
But yeah, it's usually a weekly 30-minute podcast.
Is it video or just audio?
Sis and Tell, it's just audio. It's a good, like, for if you're taking a 30-minute walk or if you have been constipated from a trip that you're on and you need to sit on the toilet for 30 minutes, just listen to the sisters.
So just real quick, May Locks. Yeah, she has a great podcast, but their Marilax comes in portable pouches for anyone.
This podcast has been sponsored by Miralax. Thanks, Miralax.
Go ahead, just get those, put them in the bag right now, because if you take Dramamine, you won't be able to poo-poo, and then you want the portable Miralax because you can't bring the whole tub of it on the plane.
For when you want to go on the go.
Or just ever. All right, thank you so much. I love you. Bye.
I love you.
Mwah. Let's go get in the pool.